Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 9th, 2017, 5:41 p.m., and we will now begin the Compton City Council meeting. If you could all please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Let us begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Here.
Galvan. McCoy. Here. Sharif.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Thank you. We will proceed forward with public comments on agenda and non-agenda items. Bishop L.J. Guillory.
Madam Mayor and City Council, I had to come here a little early today, as I was advised by my legal counsel to make sure that if I want to get a public place, to be there, do my business, so that when Ms. Kelly comes, that I can leave and keep the peace. I find it very difficult that once I get here and Ms. Kelly finds that it's necessary for her to have a restraining order to prevent me from attacking and abusing her, and she's so afraid, but yet she'll come by me. Everywhere I move, she'll come by me. And I just don't understand how bullying can be permitted and accepted as a part of a civic engagement. And I think that everybody's rights should be looked at. And when you're protecting your civil liberties, that's what this is all about, being able to express yourself. So I want to make this statement today. Joyce Kelly wishes to be a politician. A third-time failed city council candidate. The Los Angeles Times calls her a gadfly. She accepts that with pride as a badge of honor to come and attack the elected officials. Yet when it was time for Councilwoman Arsenault to retire, she asked the very same council to appoint her to a seat, to which we did not. No one supported her. She then ran for city council to try to make herself, once again, an elected official. With only 241 votes, the people said no. There are over 45,000 people eligible to vote in the city of Compton. District 3 said no several times when they voted for people even above the person, Tana McCoy. This is the kind of rhetoric, this is the kind of posturing that keeps us from moving forward. I want to use 3 words that was used by Ms. Kelly to describe the city of Compton. Filthy, dirty, trashy city. Who wants to invite someone to represent them if that's how they feel about the city? I was born and raised in this city, and I feel very, very attacked when someone use or try to use the criminal system, the court system, to try to defend their right to come and speak and attack elected officials, but then to say, I should not have a right to be here to take care of the business that I have. I sit on more than 3 boards here in the city of Compton, to which we've done many, many great things in the city of Compton. I've challenged these people before. Show me what you've done. We have over 75 different people that have been able to go to universities and learn skills and go out and start their own jobs because of what I've done here. I stand once before, and I'll stand again. We need to stop the bullying, even if it's from old people. I stand by my statements. Mrs. Joe Sprague was a victim of this woman, and so are we.
Mr. Robert Ray.
Robert Ray, Compton. These personal attacks on people have got to go someplace else. This is not the time and place for personal attacks on other people. So this is not the time and place for personal attacks on other people. I want to start with item 4. Even though it has the wrong date, I bring this up every year when it comes time for fireworks. I'm still waiting for someone to bring forth a resolution to ban all fireworks in the city. They're just getting ridiculous. Last year, a girl lost her arm because of fireworks in the city park. So it's time to ban all fireworks. I hope that somebody will someday bring forth that resolution. Along the regional park, a couple of weeks ago, I believe we had a consensus that yes, that is supposed to be a park. We've been waiting 10 years. Let's get the ball rolling. I would like to make some suggestions. Number 1, give Marvin Hunt the keys to the gate. He's had the plans to develop the park at his desk for years. Give him the keys and let him start going. And let's start with basics. Second, after we give him the keys, let's find out what happened to that $5.2 million that was supposed to be used to develop the park. That's going to come in real handy. But start with basics. Get a parking lot, get some restrooms, get a sprinkler system, get some grass, picnic tables, some lights and cameras, and you've got the basics for a park. And if we got enough money for the first amenity, let's do a walking path around the perimeter, similar to what Greenleaf has. But we've been waiting 10 years. If it's going to be a park, let's at least get it started so that we can start using it as a park. And VRN, we were promised a report on what the VRN is doing. We understood that VRN stands for the Violence Reduction Network. We're not seeing a reduction on crime in the Compton. As I understand it, and talking to some deputies, what this VRN team is doing, they're just acting as detectives after the fact and working to see what happened after the fact instead of preventing things from happening before they happen. So I'd like to know, what is the VRN doing? And, you know, do they have any results from their work? I haven't seen it. And I want to comment on this past Saturday. It was busy. First, we need to thank the Red Cross. They installed hundreds of smoke alarms to houses all over the city of Compton. And they need to be applauded for their work. Second, we went to the Cinco de Mayo. That was a nice event at Royal McDonald Park. Okay, there it goes. And then Saturday night, the concerned citizens, they are concerned about a whole bunch of things, including the election, and everybody wants to know what in the hell happened with David Dent. We want some answers.
K.W. Tullis.
Good evening to the mayor, to the city council. I stand before you today on behalf of our Congresswoman, Nanette Diaz-Barragan. I have 2 announcements today. The first announcement is we're excited to announce that the Congressional Art District, the art competition, ended on this past Friday, and on this coming Friday we will be hosting our art competition reception, and it's going to be held at the Crafted at the Port of Los Angeles, 112 East 22nd Street in San Pedro, California. Many students from throughout the district has participated, mostly here at Compton High School. And I want you to know that we have a finalist from Compton High School that will be a part of this art competition, so everyone in the city of Compton is invited to be a part. The second announcement that I would like to make is that on this coming Monday, May the 15th, we will host a community town hall meeting here at the Douglas Dollar High Community Center. That's Monday, May 15th, 2017, 6:30 p.m. We know that these town hall meetings have been taking place all across this country, and what many concerns that our office is receiving. We're going to have one right here in the wonderful city of Compton, and we want the entire residents and community to know that they're welcome to come out and share any concerns that they might have in regards to what's happening at a federal level with our Congresswoman. We would like to thank the mayor so much for giving us that opportunity to be here in Compton, and we're inviting everyone from the city council to all the residents of Compton to make sure you come and voice your concerns for our Congresswoman can continue to represent as she has been doing in Washington, D.C. She wants to hear from you. You're welcome to come with your concerns. You're welcome to come with your suggestions. She wants to just hear your voice, and she wants to make sure that the voices of the residents here of Compton are heard on this day, where she can take it back to D.C. and continue to be that voice for the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. David Irons.
I bought my first house in 1975 on Palmer. I paid property taxes. Kind of soft-spoken. I paid property taxes on Palmer in 1975 to 85. Then you have people come here and stay here for 1 month and become mayor. I don't know how long you've been here. I don't even want to look up your address. But it is so sad that, and now I live I bought another house in Compton. My property taxes went up $400 a year. I'm tired of being taxed. We pay the most taxes in Compton. We do, and I know we do. And somebody else up there know we do. I'm talking about property taxes. I ain't talking about taxes on liquor or nothing like that. I'm talking about property taxes. And it is so sad that somebody could come in here and become a city official. All the property taxes I have paid, you haven't paid no property taxes. And then you raise the property taxes on me. You haven't been here long enough. I got seniority in this city. And then you say you got to help the seniors. Hey, I help myself. I ain't waiting on nobody to help me. But it is sad that you raise property taxes on the poor people. A lot of poor people can't fight for themselves. Putting bombs on us, raising our property taxes. You don't own, I don't know if anybody owned any property except Rita. I know she, and it's not against the law to own more than one house. You can have as many houses as you want in the United States, as long as you could afford to pay for them. So if you say Ms. Rita don't live with, say she don't live where she say she live, she could buy another house and move in with her. I lived on Palmer. I know what street she lived on. But you could move in. You could buy. Charles Davis owns so many pieces of property, he could vote from any place he wanted to. I don't like it. I pay my property taxes, and since you all been in office, my property taxes went up $400 a year. And I'm a senior citizen. That is not right. You come in here, what they call them, carpetbaggers? You bring your people in here, register to vote.
Just for a matter of record, the city council has not raised property taxes. The school district and the college raised property taxes in the last 2 years, which is why our property taxes have gone up effective this year. Ms. Whitney Holly. Oh, excuse me, Mr. So sorry.
First of all, I would like to thank the Volunteers of America and also HVRP program. It's an outstanding program, and it's been helping me. I'm a veteran, and have foreign wars, and they've been helping me extensively. I'm going to help them, and they help me in the education, job development, and different programs there. Right now, which I don't think I've told them, I've just went and checked into Trade Tech University this morning on a program of community properties and community management, and I'm trying to get into that at senior citizen programs. So I want to work with them in the different programs and all the programs that they have. I have a lot of veterans that now look in my direction, and now that I'm home, we're going to, I live in the incorporated area of Compton, so they have quite a few jobs openings in those areas right now. We just finished to have, of course, you know, the brickyard, and we're having a lot of problems over there with that. So I'm going to be taking it to the Volunteers of America first and discussing it with them, and then we want to bring it to the City Council on that particular program. But like I said, I came to thank the Volunteers of America as well as the VHRP program that we have here in Compton, because it's helping us veterans, and it's helping us a lot. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your service to our country. Mr. Holyfield.
To the mayor, city council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Benjamin Holyfield, and I live in the great 3rd District. Saturday, I was able to attend the Cinco de Mayo celebration. I want you to know that it took me back 50-some years. I've been here over 55 years in the city of Compton, when we used to do things as a community, total community, and enjoyed every second of it. So I want to thank the council lady for that district, Ms. Tana McCoy, and her associates for making that possible. Then I'd like to say that the light. It has been mentioned about the light. We had no report. I'm a person of high passion. You do a plan, you work the plan, and you get the results. We've been asking about that light on Wilmington and Greenleaf for a number of months. People have been killed on that corner, property damage, and we never can come up with and we've been asked to come up with a report, and we don't have that. I'm getting a little bit, I'm not tolerating that too much, really. I'm thinking about that. The next thing is the code department. I think that the code department should be in its own area. It used to be under the city attorney, under the building and safety. Now it's under the city manager, I understand. What I'm saying is we need to have it under its own entity. And the headquarters should be over at where the code department is located now. That's where the headquarters should be. And it should be, someone should be over it who have been there for a number of years and understand Compton and live in Compton. Live here. Number one, the code department will get you fired or whatever. It has to be, it has to be operated by itself, sheriff department or any other department of that nature. That's how it must be. So I'd like the mayor and the city council to look into that, please. To look into the code department being independent. Nothing wrong with that. You see? Not over connected to any other departments. Because while you're over here, something's happening over there. You're not in your lane. I didn't stand to be complaining. I just think after all these years, and we had the great 3rd District, we're gonna make it great again. And all we have to do is unity. We just need to cut out all this hatred situation, or what seems to be a lot of hatred, and start loving one another, and working together. That's all. I've been here for a number of years, and that's how it started, with a bunch of love, with Dollar High. So I believe we're going to work on that again. Isn't that right, Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Jackie Venters? Ms. Venters, no? Mr. Hugh Kemp?
I didn't know I was going to speak, but anyway, I went to Volunteers of America I was homeless for a month, and within a month, I found a place. And they paid for all my fees to get in there. They offered to give me a refrigerator, stove, pots, pans, towels, washcloth, and presently now they're still paying my rent. So I am very thankful for this organization.
Thank you very much for sharing. Ms. Maria Lamos? Do you need a translator? Un momento, por favor, señora.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mi nombre es María Elena Lamas.
My name is Maria Elena Lamas.
Buenas tardes a todos los aquí al comité del ayuntamiento,
Good afternoon to the entire committee of the City Hall,
a la señora Meyer
Ms. Mayor,
y a todos los concejales
and all of the council people,
y a todos los asociados y el público en general.
and everybody that is associated and the public in general.
Yo vengo esta noche
This evening, I'm here
con un propósito.
with a purpose.
Yo no soy líder de decir que soy líder por conveniencia o por negocio.
I'm not say a leader because it is convenient or because I have a business
O por tener una publicidad.
or just to have some publicity.
Simplemente vengo
I'm just here
a hablar
to speak
de los problemas
about the problems
de nuestra comunidad.
that we have in our community.
Yo vengo representando
I am here representing
la comunidad, el distrito número 3,
the community, what I mean is the district number 3.
y pues voy a hablar en términos generales.
And I'm going to speak in general terms.
Primeramente,
First,
quiero saber si todos los distritos están supervisados
I would like to know
En
if
el
the
as-
districts are being supervised
en el aspecto de limpieza,
regarding cleanliness.
de muchos aspectos que necesita nuestra comunidad.
And many other
Trabajar
aspects
en
that are
muchos
needed
aspectos que requieren para nuestros jóvenes también.
in our community and especially working for our youngsters,
Necesitamos también programas para nuestros jóvenes,
because we need programs for our youngsters
también a los jóvenes o personas que salen de las cárceles
and also for those youngsters
para reintegrarlos a la sociedad.
and the people that are being let out of the jails so that they can reintegrate to society,
Por nuestros niños
for our kids
y por toda nuestra comunidad y todas las personas residentes que viven pues aquí en esta ciudad.
and for the entire community and all the people that are living here in the city.
Necesitamos tener ya una nueva visión
We need to have a new vision
para trabajar unidos.
to work together.
Yo no vengo a hablar o a atacar a nadie, de ningún miembro,
I'm not here to
ni a hablar a favor,
nor to attack, nor to talk in favor of any of the members.
ni vengo a hablar a favor de un concejal o de un personal o un funcionario que esté ahí sentado.
And I'm not here
Yo
to
ve-
talk in favor or against any of the council people or the personnel or any of the members that are.
Yo trabajo por justicia y integridad e igualdad.
I work for justice, integrity, and equality.
Nosotros queremos que trabajemos ya mejor en nuestros distritos, cuando necesitamos hay muchas necesidades.
We'd like to work better in our
I'm-
districts. There's a lot of needs.
Los distritos están llenos de basura, sucios.
In all districts, they're full of trash. They're dirty.
Yo creo que cada persona y cada persona que tiene una responsabilidad tiene que verificar y mirar todas las necesidades que requieren nuestros distritos.
I think that everybody should have a responsibility to see and to notice all the needs.
Tener
that we have in
iniciativas,
our districts.
tener iniciativa
To have the initiative
para mejorar
to
no para simplemente el negocio o la silla, que siempre estamos peleando por la silla, por el negocio.
Not just to have the business or to have the chair, because we're always fighting because we want to have the business or the chair.
Yo pienso que tenemos que trabajar juntos, sobre todo como para ahora del 5 de mayo.
I think that we should work together like we did this Cinco de Mayo.
Una persona hace su 5 de mayo en un restaurante,
Somebody may celebrate Cinco de Mayo in a
otro en
restaurant,
otro lugar.
someone else elsewhere.
Todos somos, hay mucha gente viviendo aquí, mucha población latina que requiere saber de su cultura.
But there's a lot of people that are living here, a lot of Latin population that need to know about their culture
Y hacer eventos
and to do events
para beneficiar también aquí los puntos que saquen, para beneficiar también aquí, para que se ocupen para diferentes cosas que requieren aquí nuestra ciudad.
for the benefit of everybody that may need to be benefited from the stuff from our city.
Nuestros jóvenes tienen que saber su identidad, su cultura, su historia.
Our youngsters need to know about their identity, their culture, their history.
Y también tienen que saber desarrollarse y tomar liderazgo,
They have to know how to develop and to take leadership.
porque aquí hay mucha apatía en nuestra comunidad latina.
Because there's a lot of apathy here in our Latin community.
No hay una buena información y quien conduzca y quien tenga liderazgos para despertar a nuestras comunidades cómo debemos trabajar
Not enough
unidos, jóvenes, los jóvenes pues unidos.
There's not enough leadership to show our kids, our youngsters, how to work together.
Y pues tenemos que trabajar y hacer planes para una nueva visión y para trabajar aquí Compton, que necesitamos trabajar todos juntos con nuevas expectativas para mejorar nuestra ciudad.
So we have to work together, having better perspectives, working together to improve our city.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias, señora. Miss Mary Edwards.
Good evening, everyone, mayor,
evening.
council, elected officials, to the audience and the viewing audience. I have a question. I didn't come last week. I watched the council meeting on Channel 36, and I have a question of the city manager. Has that RFP been released to the contractors for the repairs of the streets?
I just sent an email to the mayor and council letting them know that Mr. Kyle has submitted the RFP to the city attorney's office, and he's expecting that back soon.
That's been
Request
a
for
long
bids.
time.
Right.
So when are they anticipating releasing that? Because I would love to see some of these streets fixed. And if it's gonna take a RFP to get a vendor qualified to fix the streets, it's taken a long time to do a RFP. And I would like to see that released, because we need to get started in on repairing the streets. And these are little snags that delay time, and people are blaming the mayor and the council when it's internal. We need to get this together, because we need to restore our city, starting with the streets, which is my understanding the first priority of monies to be spent in the city from Measure P and other areas. And also, to the residents that come to the podium, you know, it's very difficult to be here when you don't stay on point. Follow the agenda. Don't use this as a platform to discuss your personal business, insult people, be rude and disrespectful. Let's be mindful, because these meetings are too long. And most of it's because people are coming up here, but we have an agenda. Let's follow it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. Ms. Esther Rivera.
Hello, Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Esther Rivera. I'm the Assistant Director for Volunteers of America, Los Angeles, Head Start and Early Head Start program here in South Los Angeles. And for the sake of time, I'll keep this short. As I'm sure you know, Head Start and Early Head Start is a birth to 5 program providing comprehensive services to the children and families. And we service the children and families here in Compton. And I just would like to thank you in advance for allowing us to extend our services here in Compton. Next year, we're looking at providing a total of 263 slots here, just here in Compton, for Head Start and Early Head Start services. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And a big thank you to Head Start for all of the wonderful services that they provide to Compton residents. Ms. Martha Lopez.
Good evening. I work for Volunteers of America. I've been hearing.
If you can come a little closer to the microphone.
Okay. Hi, I work for Volunteers of America. I'm one of the site supervisors here in Compton for Chester Head Start. I've been in Compton working here in Head Start, help us a lot, and also to provide the services to the parents. And I want to introduce you a little bit to one of our parents, how the services have been helping her here in Compton. And I believe it's also part of your agenda, Amilza.
Yes, she's next, so we can combine the time.
And I'm going to go ahead and introduce interpreter for her, okay?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, señora.
Good evening.
Vengo a representar como padre de familia.
She comes to represent as a parent.
Y hacerles saber lo importante que es gestar para nuestros niños.
And to let you know how important it is Head Start for our children.
Y en la forma, personal que me ha ayudado a mí con mis hijos.
Personally, it helped me a lot.
Y sí es importante pensar en nuestros niños. Y la primera escuela está en el hogar. Pero gestar ayuda a los padres a formar más a nuestros niños, a ser más... en mi caso, mi niño, cuando estaba chiquito, me daba un poco de problema para poder desenvolverse con otros niños. Era muy, se podría decir, violento.
Okay, first of all, it had helped me a lot as a parent. As my child was in Head Start, he was a little bit active, and it had helped me a lot here at the in the Head Start program to how to work with him.
Le ayudaron mucho porque ya dejó de ser el niño que golpeaba y lastimaba a otros niños.
It helped him a lot, the Head Start programs, the services that she received as of not to be the aggressive little boy that he was. Now with the services that she got, it had helped him a lot.
Es importante para mí que siga eso porque tengo más niños pequeños y ayuda mucho a muchas familias y los niños desde pequeños tienen que tener una formación más ante la sociedad.
It helped them a lot, and it also helped the children to be more in the social, be social. That's it.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias, señora. Thank you very much, Ms. Maria. Ms. Daisy Munoz.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Daisy Munoz, and I am a family advocate at one of our Volunteers of America Head Starts called Chester here in Compton. I just want to say I just started working here for the community for Compton, but I want to see that I want to help advocate for all the families here. That way all the kids can actually be enrolled in school here. That way they can get the education that they can at an early age and not just have to wait till they go into kindergarten and have that opportunity to go to a Head Start program. And yes, that would be it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Ms. Joyce Kelly?
Good evening. I am Joyce Kelly. I did run for council for the 3rd District. And I suggest Councilwoman Zarita, Councilwoman Sharif, and McCoy not to approve 13 because you know when that town hall meeting you had here occurred, people were lined up around the walls. It was so full with complaints about that election. Let me get to the real business. I know you know nothing about the law, Asia Brown, but you, Craig Cornwell, is supposed to know because we constantly hear you mention Government Code 54954 point whatever it is. So let me just read a little to you. Every regular meeting agenda shall provide an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any item of interest to the public within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Now tell me this, Craig Cornwell, how in the name of Sam's hell can anything related to lies related to me personally be upheld? And you, Asia Brown, you always comment after everyone. But no, you hire your hitman to come up here and tell lies, try to defame my character. But tell me, I'm going to tell you one thing. I just told someone in the audience before this meeting started, I will start having my battles in court. If you don't own anything, I'm going to own that. Now, you run your mouth after everything else. You know nothing about me. This convict knows nothing about me that you hired as an ombudsman, and you allow him to slander me? Let me tell you, I'm not afraid of using the court and the laws, am I, Craig Cornwell? And I am going to start doing it. That is my promise to you. And anything else you want to say it now. Because you have been talking too much at these meetings. And the Brown Act, just so happened I brought it tonight, the Brown Act says you don't have that much time to comment on any item that is not on the agenda. You're breaking the law. I'm going to start holding you to every bit of it. Thank you.
Ms. Lynn Boone?
Lynn Boone, City of Compton. Item number 11. I love Mr. Craig Henry, but I do have a question about item number 11. Nasia was in that building, and they were doing good work, but they were put out of that building and due to, they said, the structure of the building. And I got a card in the mail at my home that Volunteers of America were going to be located at that building on Dwight and Rosecrans. And presently they're now at 700 Bullis Road. So now I'm reading here that they want to take over 600 Alameda, but they want the city to be responsible for providing a structural maintenance and repairs. When I was told that that's what the problem was with that building initially. So I would like that to be really discussed this evening. Anyway, in item number 14, the warrants. You know, I'm going to stay on those warrants. You know, we're paying bills almost a year old. And I don't know how the city could function like that, so I don't know how these companies are expecting us to pay them with items over a year old. And as far as the state water resources, have we paid that board for our permit? Because they are stating that we are behind And if we don't pay for that permit, they could charge us up to $1,000 a day. Then, item number 13. I appreciate councilperson in District 1 and councilperson in District 3, because there was Mr. Irons that came up here and spoke about the bond. Measure, what is it? Measure P. Measure P is a bond. And thanks to councilperson in District 1 and councilperson in District 3, they didn't push and they didn't pass and they didn't make Measure P a bond. And we had to hear the griping from Ms. Brown for 45 minutes. And what's ever going on, I've been told there's supposed to be a recall in District 1, but it's not going to happen. And I'm going to ask the public to please vote to keep Ms. Tana in District 3. But the thing of it is that if anything changes or whatever, Ms. Brown does plan to make that a bond. So don't think that it's not going to be a bond. But I would really appreciate if the city clerk would answer some questions, because we do. As citizens, we have a lot of questions about this election, because it's no secret. It's all through the city. Nobody wants Ms. Brown back. And we cannot explain why this election went like it did. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. F. Hernandez.
We are told that things take time, at least 2 years or so. So I direct you to August 20th, 2013, $12,888,000. That's supposed to fund 3 bridge projects, Compton Boulevard and Wilmington Avenue over Compton Creek. And the biggest, you are not welcome in Compton, the 710 Alondra Boulevard over the LA River. Nothing has been done. So now there's a $75,000 additional request from the city of Compton for a preliminary design. It doesn't make a lot of sense. This is fast forward 4 years. Last time I spoke, Ms. Brown said it takes about 2 years. Well, this is absurd. I mean, I'd like the city manager to probably give us some kind of answer on that. I wasn't here is not acceptable. Maybe the mayor can address the question. Oh, I just got here in 2013? That's not an answer either. Let's try this, actually. Let's have the Director of Public Works from now on to provide a weekly update right here before us, right after the pledge and the moment of silence, giving us a mandatory report on potholes that are outstanding, that are new, subtracted by the potholes that he covered or his department has covered. I think that would please just about all of us here. That's not a novel idea. That's just moving in a thought-minded kind of way. Oh, by the way, his hot mix that he sold us on about 2 months ago said that the hot mix is good for about 6 months. It probably got washed away, all of it, with this last week's rain. It's a crisis. This leads me to item number 14, the water. You charge us for water, and when we don't pay, there's a lock on our meter. I want to know why it has not been paid. The date is 12/1/2016. We're in 2017. I would like to know who didn't pay it, why it's dated that late. Isn't there some kind of encumbrance for this? Should you guys, is there a fine attached to this? Is the $2,000 the flat fee, or are we paying additional fines on top of that? It is misdemeanor delinquent already.
Thank you, sir. Mr. City Manager, I'm going to ask that you address some of the concerns regarding streets, water, the warrants that we have under your city manager's reports. Give you some time to prepare.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Madam City Clerk.
We're at consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam. Consent items are routine and expected to be non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the council at one time without discussion unless a council member requests that an item be removed or discussed. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 2 under city manager's reports is a request of the Compton Chamber of Commerce to use the city council chambers for conducting a candidates forum on May the 27th, 2017. It's an action item.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 3 is a request to schedule budget workshops and public hearings. Hearing for June 13th, 20th, and 27th at 5:35 p.m. and the workshops May 23rd and June 13th at 4 p.m.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Well, yes, may I have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Will there be a full council agenda after these workshops?
Yes, those are Tuesdays.
Whatever items you, mayor and council, would like on the full council after that, those items will be on the council agenda. If you want to have a light agenda after that, you guys are welcome to hold items, and we can just put on emergency items if needed to pay bills or whatever.
I think that's a good idea, so that we don't feel rushed through the budget hearings, that we only have agenda items that are time sensitive.
I agree.
Who's going to determine that?
What, light agenda? Everything is important.
Okay, that sounds good. Question regarding the workshops. Is it required that we publicly notice any workshops that are held after hours? I assume that they are.
All workshops have to be published.
I'm just going to request that we have a budget workshop sometime after, in the evening time or on the weekend, so that the community will have an opportunity to get input.
Question, are the budget workshops, are they town hall meetings, or are it just presenting information?
The budget workshops are for the mayor and council to listen to the presentation by the controller and myself and provide input into producing the budget for finalization.
Not for a back and forth community input debate?
Not necessarily, no.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Traditionally.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You got to allow it.
Mr. City Attorney, could you just give some clarity on this? Do we need to properly notice the town halls or workshops or anything related to the budget, or are we able to just have standard town halls without having to add them on this schedule?
The workshops are considered a public meeting where you have at least 3 members of the council. So they need to be agendized at each meeting. The public is required an opportunity to speak. So it would be going through the same process as our council meetings.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So they will have opportunity to give input as far as the budget is concerned. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Any additional discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy. Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 4 is a request to schedule the 2017 fireworks hearing for June 13th, 2017 at 6 p.m. I know the agenda states this 2016, but this is for the 2017 fireworks. So again, that's June 13th.
No, mine says the 7th.
Mine says June 14th.
I'm stating on the floor that the hearing for the fireworks is for June 13th, 2017 at 6 p.m. That's
Okay.
the request.
Okay. It's June 13th.
Your staff report is correct. It's just on the agenda.
Okay.
It says 2016.
Thank you.
She said June.
So moved.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
June
Mayor
13th.
Brown.
Yes.
June 13th,
June 13th.
2017 at 6 p.m. Fireworks hearing.
Messed up.
Yes, I did make a mistake,
No,
and
no, no.
which just tells me
I'm
that
just-
it reminds me that I'm human.
You are. We all are.
Sometimes I need a reminder.
Put it on, so I don't know.
Under new, Mr. City Manager, I think you wanted him to do a report.
Yes.
Under City Manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. I'll talk about the potholes first. I get a weekly report from the Public Works Director on that. I'll go over that very briefly. So the week of April 1st through the 5th, there was approximately 6 tons of potholes filled. McKinley from Caldwell to Billings Street. Spruce between Tejada and Grandee. 132nd between Central and Parmalee. Thorson between Murr and Alondra. Spruce between Grandee and Dwight. Central between Tishner and Bennett. Bullis Road between Pine and Queensdale. Esmeraldian between Bullis and Long Beach. Nestor Avenue and School Street. Dwight between Rosecrans and Spruce. Alondra and the 710 freeway. 132nd between Wilmington and Grandee. 132nd between Grandee and Compton Avenue. 133rd between Wilmington and Grandee. 133rd between Compton and Grandee. And Kemp from Caldwell to Exmoor to Caldwell Avenue. The future streets that have been identified are Murr between Butler and Bullis, Essie between Alondra and Elizabeth, Bennett between Long Beach and Cusco, Muriel between Alondra and Marcel, Poplar between Dwight and Nestor, Northwood between Spruce and Poplar, Grandee between Spruce and Poplar, Cliveden between Spruce and Poplar, Broadacres between Spruce and Poplar, Wilmington Avenue between Carob and Greenleaf, 151st between Central and Dwight, 152nd between Central and Dwight, Magnolia between Dwight and Nestor, Grandee between 138th and El Segundo, Slater between 133rd and Stockwell, Central between Stockwell and 131st, Nord between Central and Paulson, Manville between Alameda and Apra between Manville and Victoria, Wilmington and, I can't pronounce this street, I think it's it might be Laurel, and then Artesia and Wilmington northeast corner.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Mr. City Manager, that you continue to agendize the Public Works Department at least once a month, is my request to. And if we can just make it maybe every first Tuesday of the month, so that it's on a regular schedule to receive those reports. And then also, I just want to commend you all for putting together the reports for the potholes that have been sent to the council, but if we could also make that information available online, I think that'll be helpful as well, so that residents can track where the work is being done within their neighborhoods.
Madam Mayor.
Yes,
I
Councilwoman
do have a
Sharif.
concern.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned here on the, that the potholes between Murr, between Butler and Bullis, I believe we discussed this before. I'm just wondering, when can the community anticipate this being taken care of? Because this has been a while now on Murr.
Okay, Murr between Butler and Bullis is gonna be taken care of this week.
This week?
Yes.
Because I know that the Murr was done from Santa Fe over to Long Beach, but then past that, nothing happened. So I'm just, it seemed to be taking a long time for you guys to get back, so I just want to know when we'll be taken care of. Okay.
And then also I'm asking Mr. City Manager for you to agendize the HUD reallocation funding. The council was going to prioritize the streets that would be repaved within their districts.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure we can identify priority streets.
Okay.
Wasn't that prioritized by the pavement plan study?
From what I understood, just from recollection, the council members wanted to pick off of the streets. I think all of the streets have pretty much the same grade, but there are some streets within their districts that they wanted to identify to prioritize. But if you,
I think we should go on with the list that we have. I mean, at the time, I don't think anything has changed in the streets that are on the list. And work on the list, keep changing and keep wasting time.
from what I understand, we have 2 new council members, and they requested for the item to come back because the work hadn't been started yet, so that they can identify within their districts. So I'm asking that that item come back on Tuesday's agenda.
Okay, Mayor and Council, I also sent you guys the list with those streets, and so you guys had a chance to take a look at those streets already. So Districts 3 and 4, I believe, were already done in the first round of CDBG, and then 1 and 2 are up next. And also realizing that the new community development block grant areas that are eligible may change, but we're going to we sent you that list. And as we start the project, if it changes, we'll let you guys know, but we gave you guys an opportunity as well as the mayor to select from the list. If you'd like, I could resubmit that list to you.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam City Clerk? Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, and looking at the water, I got a text from Ken Holcomb, who's our water department director. We got the bill for the public water system permit today, and we'll be paying that promptly. It's not overdue. The one that was dated in December is being paid, and it's already signed off. There's no late fee on that. And so it's just a matter of being backlogged in the queue for the payment system.
So just to confirm, there are no late fees being paid in the current bill. We just received one bill yesterday, and then the bill that's on the agenda, this is relative to a backlog on our side or on the?
It's a backlog on our side.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Madam City Clerk?
Item number 5 under new business is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, initiating proceedings for the levy and collection of assessments within the Compton Lighting and Landscaping District Number 1 for fiscal year 2017-18 and ordering the preparation of an engineer's report pursuant to the provisions of Part 2 of Division 5 of the California Streets and Highway Code.
So
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Mr. City Manager, could you just explain this item? And I know it connects with the following items on the agenda, but just an overall summary so that the residents can be aware.
Yeah, I believe this is a legal provision that's required for us to actually assess the residents in the lighting district. Mr. Cow, you can come up and do a very brief summary on this. This is a Public Works Director, and this is his item as well as the subsequent items that are connected with this.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
Good evening.
This item before you is, as was eloquently read by our city clerk, this is to initiate the proceedings regarding the assessment district for the landscape and lighting. Landscape within the city of Compton. The landscape and lighting provides services regards to street lights, traffic signals, the operation, the power, tree trimming, and maintenance of the parkways and the center medians. Also provides for maintenance of the equipment to provide those services, and some of the staffing that performs those services. Also the supplies needed, fertilizer, et cetera, light bulbs, ballast, things like that. And also provides to ensure it's properly operating with the maintenance of that. The brief statistics on the district are there's approximately 6,000 lights in the city. About 1/4 of that, approximately 1,500, are owned by the city and maintained. Edison owns the others, and they maintain those. The city pays for the power for all the lighting. There's approximately 3 staff in the street light and traffic signal division. There's 1 vacancy of those total. We have 2 aerial trucks and 1 crane truck. And the equipment is approaching its replacement life in regards to that. We also use the funding to provide for the contract services, the tree trimming, the street sweeping, catch basin cleaning, and some other contract type services. As part of that, we pay regards to fees towards State Water Resources Control Board, consulting services, and graffiti removal, and also the illegal dumping abatement services that we have. Any further questions?
Thank you very much.
Glad to answer that.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 6 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, initiating proceedings for the levy and collection of assessments within the Compton Sewer Service Charge for fiscal year 2017-18, and ordering the preparation of an engineer's report pursuant to the Municipal Improvement Act of 1913, Division 12 of the California Streets and Highway Code.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 7 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, approving the preliminary engineer's report of Wildan Financial Services for the City of Compton's Lighting and Landscaping Assessment District Number 1 for fiscal year 2017-18.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? While we're on the lighting, I'd like to request for the lighting study to come before council. I know that it was in draft form according to the last information that we received, but if there's a finalized version for the additional lighting needs within the city, to have that come forward. Any additional discussion?
Just for the people, if the city manager can just explain where it says lighting and landscaping assessment District 1, that is not actually District 1 of the city of Compton.
It's not literally, the councilmatic District 1, no.
It covers just a general list of.
So District, I'm sorry, Glenn, if you can come up. It-
Yes, it's titled Assessment District Number 1. If you had a second district, it would be number 2. But the assessment district covers citywide of all the street lights, traffic signals within the city, and the power for that. So that's its title. So it's not specific to a council district, though.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to also ask that the council be presented with the actual summary from the lighting and landscaping district in terms of revenues and expenditures. And at one point, about 2.5 years ago, we did a pilot of drought tolerant foliage on the medians in District 3. And I'm requesting that we put together a plan to remove the grass within the medians and switch them to drought tolerant landscaping to reduce the maintenance costs. And if we can have that item come back with the lighting at once. And then also, if Mr. City Manager, you can have staff do some assessments on the various lighting options that we have through Edison. I know that there have been some recent innovations and changes with the energy costs for the particular bulbs. And I know that some bulbs are eligible to be changed out to the newer energy saving bulbs, which would save the city energy costs. So I want to make sure that we are taking advantage of the resources that are available to us to save costs and taxpayer dollars. Any additional discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 8 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, approving the preliminary engineering report of Wildan Financial Services for the City of Compton sewer service charge for fiscal year 2017-18.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 9 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, declaring its intention to levy and collect assessment and charges within the Lighting and Landscaping Assessment District Number 1 for fiscal year 2017-18, and appointing the time and place for a public hearing to be held on June 20th, 2017 at 5:45 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just had a quick question. Do we have any idea what our Edison bill runs for the city?
I don't know the current bill, but I do recall,
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
I don't recall the current bill, but I know in the past what we paid. It runs about $1.2 to $1.3 million.
So have we ever considered converting some of our facilities to solar?
Facilities, I'm not aware of facilities. I know, I've heard some
Well,
talk to
City
look into
Hall.
it. Sure, I've heard some talk to look into that. That would take some funding, but I haven't heard anything going to go forward with that, so.
But there's so many, I would imagine that there's grants to go solar programs, energy efficient programs. It's definitely something that I would like for the city to look into and consider.
I'll take notes on that.
City manager. Our school districts, I noticed that they're converting a lot of their schools over to solar. Because sometimes you can even make money if you generate more energy than that you use, you sell it. So definitely, I mean, we need to try to think about coming up to the standards.
I've got my notes right here.
Thank you. And then we have over the weekend, there was some solar installation going on for residences with Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit. They provide free solar panels to residential customers at no cost to them in partnership with the residents and also with labor. They provide free labor through the labor unions. And also Solar Grid, which is another company that's local. They also will provide solar panels, and as Councilwoman Rita said, that energy will go back into the system so the city could generate some revenue on that. And they'll come out and do a free assessment. We had an assessment done back in 2014, so that information should be on file. And I want to ask, just at the point of the public hearing that we've scheduled for June 20th, if we could also bring the various budgetary information regarding the levy and expenditures. I just want to make sure all that information is available. Any additional discussion?
I could add a comment.
Oh, sure.
Regarding the hearings, tonight you've approved the preliminary engineering report, and that, if any changes occur between now and prior to the hearing, that would be incorporated in the report to prepare the final report when you do have the hearing, when the hearing is conducted.
Okay.
In addition, for this year, neither of the assessments are recommended for a change in the levy that's being assessed for this year. Staff will look into to take in these ideas, such as putting LED lighting on the streets, looking for potentially solar powering the facilities where applicable. That would those might create additional costs that would be looked into to be absorbed through the district where applicable. So
okay.
We'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 10 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, declaring its intention to levy and collect assessment and charges within the sewer service charge for fiscal year 2017-18, and appointing a time and place for a public hearing to be held on June 20th, 2017 at 5:55 p.m.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 11 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the city manager to execute a 5-year lease agreement between the City of Compton and Volunteers of America of Los Angeles for indoor and outdoor services at 600 North Alameda.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. City Manager, I want to ask that you bring Volunteers for America forward, and if you can just give a summary of the terms of the proposed lease for the benefit of the residents.
Sure. Craig, would you mind coming up with your staff? And then I have Mr. Van Wilson, who's our General Services Manager, Department Head, on standby.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much for this consideration. I am Craig Henry, a resident of Compton, also Senior Program Manager for Volunteers of America. I've also asked Orlando, introduce yourself.
My name is Orlando Ward. I'm Executive Director of Public Affairs for Volunteers of America, Los Angeles.
And we have Esther Rivera.
Yes, as Assistant Director for the Head Start, Early Head Start program here in South Los Angeles.
Thank you all for coming out this evening. Mr. City Manager, I'm going to ask that Mr. Wilson just give a quick summary regarding the lease terms, and then we can hear from Volunteers for America.
Absolutely. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council, ladies and gentlemen. The proposed lease agreement is a 5-year lease with 2 5-year extended options. Volunteers of America, as part of their Head Start program, the federal program requires a 15-year lease agreement, so it does have the 2 5-year options in the lease. It is for 4,710 square feet of indoor space, at a rate of $1.50 per square foot. Volunteers of America, as a means of offsetting the city's $1.97 minimum for this particular property, is proposing that they will take care of their pro rata share of the utilities, as well as basic maintenance and custodial services for their part. Volunteers of America is also seeking outdoor space, and that outdoor space is a total of 4,888 square feet. The city's minimum square foot rate for that is 50 cents, and they will be meeting that minimum square foot number.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If we could just have Volunteers for America just give a quick summary of what the operations are proposed for this location.
Hi. So for that particular center, what we are proposing is to provide 45 slots or 45 opportunities for families for full-day services. So in our Head Start program, we also have our home-based option, which provides services for our early Head Start, which is 0 to 3, and our Head Start program is 3 to 5. In addition, in the outdoor space, we will be renovating that, adding a play structure up to code and all of that. That will be a structure that it would be able to provide services for the 2 to 5 age group for that particular structure. In addition, we will be leasing some office space for some of our office staff that will be providing the services there.
Thank you. And I just have a quick question. I know that Volunteers for America currently has operations at the city's Career Link located on Bullis Road. So are you all proposing to consolidate your staff on Bullis to this new location, or what is the plan for that?
I'll let Mr. Henry talk on that. The Career Link is the adult services program, not the children's services.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that we do have Orlando here. He is the executive director of our public relations and also the director of our adult services program. We have discussed the possibility of consolidating. However, I believe, Van, we just entered into a lease agreement for
some additional space at Career Link. So their
yeah,
current
so we
proposal.
will not be moving until perhaps that lease has ended. We will honor the lease until its fullest, and then at that time we'll make a decision as to whether or not we choose to consolidate all the programs into one location.
Thank you. Any council comments or questions?
I have a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
And my questions are directed to staff.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind. So, first off, who will be paying for tenant improvements?
That will be Volunteers of America.
So would the lease start immediately, or would it start, when will the payment start?
So we've scheduled this out 3 months. So we've got, I think the lease start date is, as a matter of fact, we've got it set up through June 1st. That June 1st date is, although it's a very narrow window, it does give Volunteers of America an opportunity to submit the proposed tenant improvements, and that should also give us an opportunity to clear any hurdles that they may have on the federal level.
And who's going to pay the utilities?
They will pay their pro rata share, so they will pay the share for their square footage. So, and the city will pay the additional. One of the unique things about that building is we have the ability. It's the utilities are basically zoned because it started as basically 3 buildings, so the utilities are zoned. So they will be, until we fill the building, they will be, we will use only that section of the building, the utilities on that section of the building,
And
which is the south side of the building.
who's responsible for the daily maintenance?
Volunteers of America.
And then, Mr. City Attorney, in the lease agreement with the 2 5-year options, is it option to negotiate rate?
There's a cap of 3% during the 5-year lease renewal options. 3% increase.
3% increase.
So that's pretty much standard with the cost of living. And one last question. With the type of youth, is it day, I don't remember if you said preschool, but preschool, does that limit the use of the rest of the building? Does it put any restrictions with having the kids in the building does it limit the use of the rest of the building?
I'd have to review that per issue. I'd have to, if there's other consideration. At the present time, for Volunteers of America to go in, there's no problem. If there's other anticipated use,
one of our anticipated uses, Councilwoman Zarita, is to use the Blue Room. So if you're very familiar with that building, so the southern part of the building, there's a little parking area. The Volunteers of America is going to propose, we're proposing that they use that as their playground. And then the Blue Room is the next section of the building that you come to. We're proposing that we move the Blue Room back into facilities that we rent. So the Blue Room and there's the kitchen area, that orange room, we're going to use those as potential rental areas. We have had some discussions with Volunteers of America and other people about the possibility of leasing the other portions. One of our concerns is obviously safety when you've got children. So what we plan on doing is closing off that area of the building where the children will be at. So that will really be its own separate entity. And as Mr. Cornwell said, I think you'd have to look at them on a case-by-case basis to determine whether or not we're going to be able to use other, propose or consider other proposals that might come our way.
So my final question is, for transparency's sakes, that building had been tagged for lead and some other issues where staff was moved out of there. Are they aware of those issues?
They are, and as it relates to lead, I don't know if the building had ever been quote unquote tagged for lead. They have been made aware of the fact that the building, due to its age, it's had some asbestos in it. As you all know, asbestos becomes extremely problematic when it is disturbed. When it's not disturbed, it poses no health risk. We believe that we have abated the majority of the lead, the majority of the asbestos. As part of the federal requirement, one of the things that's going to happen is there will be a test done to make sure that things, as you mentioned, the lead, so there can't be lead, there can't be asbestos, there can't be mold. So all of those items will be addressed. And if by chance those items do pop up, that would be the city's responsibility to abate those things.
Well, just for your information and for the history, the building was tagged. I was an employee in the building at the time, and some of the areas were the little patio areas within the building. So just so you know, you got kids coming in there, and I like to sleep good at night. I just want to make sure that everything is disclosed to the people, and we make sure that it's a safe and healthy environment for the children.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Councilwoman Sheree?
Yes, when we're talking about the lead and the asbestos that may be there, is that is a concern for me because especially with the children that's coming in, and I was, when I'm listening to what you're saying, is that when will we know whether or not, I know you said the testing is going to be done, when are those tests are scheduled to be done?
So Councilwoman, no one will be able to occupy the facility in the event that, again, less asbestos, lead, mold. We would have a clearance on all of those items. And as it relates to lead, unfortunately, as Councilwoman Zarita said, it was earlier. I don't know if it's lead paint, if it was the water. I don't know, but I'll do research to find out what those items were, and we'll just make sure that if there is a problem, we will do everything in our capability to abate it.
Okay, well, when are they anticipated to take, because you're saying that they are starting June 1st. Mm-hmm. And my concern is this, is that June 1st is the start date. when will the children be coming into that site?
Well, their very first step will be, there's a federal component here. They will have to, an inspector will come out and will take a look at the facility, and before anything will happen, they will generate a report.
Okay.
We're going through the same process with Crystal Stairs over at Oleander, at Old Dollar Hyde. So once that report is provided to us, then we have the ability to, if there is a problem, we have the ability to move forward on it.
Okay, thank you. That's what, that was one of my concerns, is that when was it gonna be done? Because, I don't, like Ms. Rita said, is that none of us want to see any children walk into a site, and then later on we find out that there is something that's wrong, and then we now have these children in this site, so that is really is a big concern for me. And so, but, okay, now, also, I did want to ask a question, because I think the lady there mentioned about they would be leasing space to other, did I hear you correctly when you said that Volunteers of America will be leasing space to other people? Is that correct? No, just, okay. I just.
The home base program? We won't be leasing, it won't be a sublease or anything like that. The space that we're leasing is solely for our preschool, early Head Start, and Head Start programs.
Oh.
So our home-based program, what we would be doing was we would house our staff there. And our home-based program is our home visitors visit the children at their homes. But in terms of outsourcing the lease, no, we wouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the next question is that I know you said that you have a lease out with Bullis, they're at Bullis Road for Volunteers of America, and that you're thinking in terms of maybe combining or bringing that program over. My question is that when will the lease expire there on Bullis, at the Career Link?
It's a 3-year lease, and they just entered into it this year. So,
Yeah,
so
and
3
to be
years.
very honest with you, Councilwoman Sharif, we have not even discussed moving. We're quite happy with the programs. That's our Veterans Program and our Supportive Services for Veteran Families Program. You heard the gentleman mention earlier, HVRP, that's Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program. And we're quite happy with the services that are being provided out of the Career Link, and I don't foresee us moving them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I just have one last question, at least on my behalf. I just want to reiterate that any improvements that will need to be made in order to abate any environmental concerns will be conducted by Volunteers of America.
Yeah, we will do that, definitely. We have, a federal inspector will be coming out, correct, Esther? Yes.
Well, we work with our contractors, and everything has to be, up to code. And the main thing is that for our programs, we are licensed facilities. So ultimately, we have to get approved by the Community Care Licensing Department in order for our children to start. So that's a whole other set of, hoops and things that we have to go through. They inspect our playground will be inspected, and everything will be all squared away before any child walks through the door.
Thank you.
I have one question. Did I understand you, Mr. Wilson, to say that if there's any abatement needed for lead or mold or anything, that the city would be responsible for that?
That should be the city's responsibility.
So-
It's our facility, so yes.
Well, that's what I thought, but it was just said that
They were gonna.
yeah, so it's kind of, when you have the leasee and the staff person giving a report at the same time, it should just be from the staff, I believe. So, will the children actually be in school all day there at the facility? Do we know that, Mr. Wilson?
Will the children be in school? Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Is it a school classroom, or is it just a family?
I believe it's an early Head Start, and as was stated,
Yeah,
I
we're
think
early childhood education program. So they will be there for 6 hours, Monday through Friday.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
No, my questions were answered about whether they were going to pay their own utilities, which is.
Thank you.
So I just have one question, just for my information, Mr. City Manager. Is it,
is this standard practice to lease and then test a facility for
Shouldn't we know before?
issues?
Well, we haven't done these often, but I think in this particular instance, because the facility had been shut down for quite some time, it's adequate space, we thought we'd move forward with this and then do the testing after we do the leasing, because there's some time constraints with this particular project, and the Volunteers of America agreed to that.
So it's not the standard.
Generally, you have the testing and the facilities are either prepared or ready, but this particular facility, the size that they need, the amenities that they're required, and we looked at several sites, and this is one of the sites that they like to look at.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, is
Ye-
anyone
yes.
else trying to get the building, the reason why it's being done like this, or exactly what is happening, Mr. City Manager?
Is the question, is anyone trying to,
The reason
anyone
why
else
I'm
competing,
asking,
or?
yeah, no, I'm going, because the reason I'm asking this is that if there isn't anyone else competing for this building, then why aren't we doing the testing prior to we do the leasing?
I'll let you answer that.
From what I understand, there was testing that was done already on this entire facility.
Did they?
A while
So,
back, but a number of years ago, right?
About 2 years ago, or maybe 18 months ago. So we have testing on hand. We have an idea of what the issue is.
And you are
I
correct,
think what the
Madam Mayor.
issue is the grant is time, has a
Is it
time
the
you need to get
oh,
space.
okay.
That's what the issue is.
That's what I was asking. That's, and I
That's
understand why.
the real story.
Yeah, and I understand why. It has to do with the grant. Okay.
Any additional discussion?
So just to be clear, Mr. City Attorney, if this lease is approved tonight, and then they find that there's some issues with the building, where do we stand? Are we liable for anything, or what kind of agreement do we have in legal black and white writing?
Well, my position is the first signature on the city side for the lease, and I will not sign until we have all the approvals. So it won't even get going unless we have the sign-offs, the federal sign-offs and everything.
But this process would satisfy the date that the Volunteers of America need in order to get the
This will
grant
let
funded.
the Volunteers of America know that they have the council's approval.
They have the, pretty
to
much
go
saying that you
forward.
do have the building, pretty much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would also like to add, for clarity, there's a request for the lease rate to be $1.50. If that could be included in the motion, it would help the minute taking.
Is that because they're paying their own light bill and everything, is that why it's being done?
I'll have
And can you repeat that
General
question,
Services
Councilwoman?
explain.
Is it because they're paying their own utilities, is that why you requesting?
You are correct.
Okay,
You are correct.
all right.
Madam Clerk, do you need an amended motion?
Yes, so, section 3, that the monthly lease rate shall be, I believe you said $1.50?
$1.50.
That-
$1.50 per square foot of the indoor space.
There was one, I'm so sorry, Madam Mayor. I had one other question because I know that the stand down, we already approved for them to come in September. And I'm just wondering how is this going to impact the Volunteers of America program there, or will it impact their program at all?
It was already stated that they agreed, that they knew it was coming and they would
Yeah, so
give them the.
I read it.
Advised of stand down, and we make the appropriate provisions. So that
Provisions for them to
provide
continue.
deal with it.
And this will be every year that you will make those provisions for that stand down in case they want to use that building?
That it comes every year there, as long as we have the notice, there should be no problem with it.
Okay.
We were already notified of the stand down prior to all of this, so we're in agreement with it.
Okay, thank you.
Not to discuss something that's not agendized, as some of the folks have stated tonight, But why did the stand down move from the, if it's a long answer, you don't have to give it to me, you can give it to me in an email. But I'm just wondering, why did we change the venue for the stand down? It used to always be on Bullish Road. That's not available anymore?
I don't know. We had it at the same location last year, and I know the year prior we had it at Bullis at Career Link. I don't know why I don't know what precipitated the change.
Because technically, that's not even a city event, so the people that's having it may not even want to have it next year, so I'm just curious as to why the venue changed, but just making sure all bases are covered when you involve children into the equation.
Any additional discussion? Roll call.
Mr. City Manager, did you say we needed an amended motion? Or no?
Mr. City Attorney.
I just wanted the motion to include the
It's
amount.
$1.50 per square foot, okay.
After 5 years, will this contract come to us after the first 5 years? Yes. After every 5 years, it will come back to the council. Okay.
Yes.
So you need a motion?
No, there's a motion on the floor.
Roll call. I was just letting her get the amendments.
You didn't need a motion for the minute motion.
No, we're just gonna fill in section 3 at $1.50 per square foot.
Okay.
And we have a second?
Yes, there's a motion on the floor.
Okay, roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Congratulations.
Item number. Item number 12 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, rejecting all bids submitted for the Tank Farm Booster Station project and authorizing re-advertisement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. City Manager, could you discuss this item?
Mayor, Council, as you recall, we had this item before the body one other time. There was it was a little vague about why it was being resubmitted for bid. Ken, if you come up, our water director can come up, but in essence, the information that was initially put out in the bid request was vague, and the city attorney's office requested that we put this out for rebid because of the vagueness of the first bid and the protest lodged by one of the folks bidding.
Thank you, sir. Madam Mayor, Council, exactly what Mr. City Manager said. This resolution before you is because of some vague and ambiguous language that was prepared by a consultant, and we reviewed that and took it to the city attorney's office, and it was recommended by the chief deputy city attorney that we do reject all the bids because that ambiguity, we saw there was a spread, too wide of a spread from all the bids, and we didn't want to, we wanted to avoid any further ambiguity, and we took the recommendation to just cover the city's backside, excuse me, but to just go ahead and rebid.
Thank you, and thank you for the clarification. And Mr. City Manager, so did this item originally go out without city attorney's office review? Do you all know?
I'm sorry, the question again?
Did the original bid, was it authorized without the city attorney's initial review? Or how did the first bid go out without these comments that were provided by the city attorney's office?
I think it had been released, and there was a question by one of the bidding contractors, not an official protest.
Okay.
And that's when we asked council about it and what we should do about it.
Okay. Mr. City Attorney?
Madam Mayor, City Council, my office isn't part of every bid process.
It is not?
It is not.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask that we bring a resolution back for council consideration for RFPs over a certain dollar amount, and I'll work with you, Mr. City Manager and Mr. City Attorney, for a good recommended dollar amount. That would not clog the system, but that would definitely indemnify the city for larger bids to ensure that we have the City Attorney's Office reviewing these items before they're provided to the public.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. City Attorney, just for my clarification, why are there some that require city attorney's signature and some that don't?
The current, it's up to the department head. Department heads bring it to us, or the city manager requests it, and then it comes to us.
So there's no policy?
No.
I'm asking for one.
Interesting.
We'll work together on that.
I'm sorry, no policy when it comes to submitting RFPs or?
When RFPs go out, there are times when it goes out straight from the departments.
Right, that's true.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm saying that's not in violation of any current
Right,
policy.
right.
So there's no law other than a policy that the city has that require legal approval of RFP before it goes out from a department?
No, and most RFPs with the department is the subject matter expert,
And so I think where it gets their approval is when the contract comes back, and then the attorney gets it and looks at it before it actually comes to the city, to the council,
After it's been bidded on?
after it's been bidded, yes.
Yeah, it's just not a best practice. I mean, usually departments, depending on the nature of the work, will have the City Attorney's Office just do an ancillary review. It's not a requirement, but we've had in the past where items have gone out and we've had to issue them again, and this is like the third time we've had to do this. And so my request is just to create a policy with a dollar threshold, maybe for larger projects, anything over $250,000 or $500,000 should definitely require some type of city attorney approval. So we'll bring something back for council consideration.
Madam Mayor, can we also include somewhat, if the issue's relatively complex, for instance, many RFPs are routine, but some require a degree of complexity that we think the city attorney should, can we put that in there also?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Sharif,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 13 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, declaring the results of the primary nominating election held in said city on April the 18th, 2017.
So move.
Second,
Discussion?
yes.
Mr. City Attorney, do you mind just giving a quick summary of this item?
Yes, this item before us is canvassing of returns and certification of results for our primary nominating election held on April 18th, 2017. The laws regarding the approval of canvassing the election are contained in the California Elections Code. We also have a reference in our Compton Municipal Code, but the state code, the California Elections Code, section 10.262 and 10.263 and 10.264 create a timeline for the local agency to approve the canvassing of the election, which is the fourth Friday following the election. And I believe that date for us would be Friday, May 12th. to certify this election. So, any questions?
Thank you, sir.
What happens if it's not certified?
I believe the statutory scheme creates a mandatory duty to certify. I would believe that a voter could force the certification to occur if council sees fit to not certify.
A voter?
Any voter, yeah.
I mean, one person? Single person?
Can file action, yes.
Oh, file an action.
Right.
Not just come up here and say.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
certified.
No, they'd have to go to
Stamp
court.
it.
They'd have to go to court.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Any additional discussion? Roll, oh, yes, ma'am.
So, in all of the election, the people who had complaints or concerns about the actual election, they just need, Madam City Clerk, is it possible for you to bring back a report explaining how you picked the polling places, explaining why some people are, their regular polling places were not used, explaining to them so that they will understand that what they see as improprieties, or, you know, see that their polling place wasn't regular and they didn't get to vote, or that they filed a provisional vote because their name wasn't on the actual ballot. Could you please bring back a report with that information so that the public will know?
As I stated last week, I don't have a problem with answering any questions, but no questions have come to me other than right now. We talked last week at the council meeting, and had you given me those questions or concerns, I would have given you answers to them. But the process of the election, of course, we all know polling places we have to create polling places. Generally, the polling places remain the same unless a facility denies access to that polling place. Then we have to find another place, and we find it in that area. Typically, your polling place stays the same, again, unless there's a change. But everyone receives their sample ballot. Your polling place is listed on that sample ballot. It also tells you that it may change, and it does change from city elections to county elections. They're totally different. The city of Compton consolidates its elections. The county probably has about 75 precincts, and we consolidate ours down, which the law allows us to. We consolidate them down to 27 precincts. And so that's, I mean, it's your precinct is in your area. But again, if you give me the questions, if you give me the people, if you tell the people to call me, I don't have a problem with answering it. I don't, because it's a process, so I don't, but again, I can't answer what no one comes to me. Last week, we talked about McNair. I answered that on the floor. McNair was not a City of Compton precinct. It was a county precinct. The information that I received, the picture that I received was a picture of a county sample ballot. So, but I'm almost certain I can answer any questions or concerns a voter has. But we as voters, we have to educate ourselves. We should not be trying to find out where we go to vote on election day. We should know that at least the night before or the week of, because everyone knows that election day is very hectic. Everyone has time constraints, and you're leaving work and trying to get, and you should really know where you go. I don't recommend trying to find out where you go on election day, but we are there to answer your calls. Unfortunate, this election, we were away from our phones for 4 hours and we couldn't assist. A lot of the provisional ballots that we had this year, and it was, out of all of my years here, it was an abundance. But as we were processing those, a lot of them were vote-by-mail voters who did not have a ballot to surrender. So if you're a permanent vote-by-mail, the poll workers are not gonna allow you to vote unless you surrender a ballot. If you don't surrender a ballot, then you have to vote provisional. So that's why we had a lot of provisionals. Another large number was people were voting out of their district. People in 4th district were going to 3rd district, so those were provisional. So obviously their names will not be on the ballot. A lot of people were going, you know, to different precincts just because there's a polling place, I'm gonna go there. So that was a really great number of that happening. But the biggest number was people that didn't have ballots to surrender, that possibly tossed their vote by mail in the trash. I don't know, but that was the biggest.
I did.
I know, Ms. Sharif. But it happens. Again, it happens. But that's why I don't recommend trying to find out on election day where you go to vote, because there's a lot of things going on election day. So, but again, if I can answer if they call.
I have a question for you. I'm gonna ask the same question I asked before. I'd like an account of the ballots that were ordered, the ballots that were received, the number that were mailed out, the number that were returned, the number that was spoiled, and the number that were surrendered. And also included in that, I'd like an account of how many envelopes were ordered, because there are some rumors that envelopes were being printed in our printing department, and from my understanding is that each ballot comes with an envelope. And then I'd also like to know, unlike the county's election, when you tear your stub off to say you voted, you keep your little stub and it has a serial number on it. How come our ballots don't have a serial number on the ballot as well as the stub?
Well, first off, the reason why there's no number is because of the secrecy. You do not want to be able to link the tab with the ballot, because then you'll know who that's linked to, and you'll be able to know who they voted for. So that's why there's no numbers on
But the county does it the opposite.
Well, again, there are several, and you can go to the Secretary of State, there are several voting systems, and each county or city can choose their own system, voting system, that they use. Compton has the Optimark, which is to bubble in. So there's different systems. We're always gonna be different from the county. The county is a much larger operation than the city, so they're always gonna be totally different. And your other question was about the...
But then you made me have another question, is because who decides what system we have?
The council decides what system we've had this system for many, many years.
No, I don't believe that, because I don't believe the
Way
council
before your
decides.
time, we've had the system.
But the last time when we voted to approve the money for the ballots in the election, I said, well, can we have some input on the design of the ballots? And you said that was your responsibility.
We don't have a design of the ballot. That's something different. The design of the ballot is designed by the Secretary of State. That's where the ballots come from, the Secretary of State.
Well, the style, not the random lottery of how the names are.
That's done by them too.
Right, I understand that, but like you said, the council opt to have the Optima system. How do we change that? What if we don't want that anymore? How do we change that?
Well, in a minute, it's all gonna change, because the whole election process is getting ready to change. You're gonna actually be going to vote by mail. So it's getting ready to change real soon, I believe it's next year. So something will be coming forth to you, because some people will get what they wish for. The county will be taking over the city's elections. So then you really won't have a lot of input.
So you're saying the county is already scheduled to take over?
They're going to.
They're taking over. We're gonna have to actually change our election dates. Yes, it's coming.
That's why Carson changed theirs, because it was coming up, and that's why they went on and moved it.
A lot of cities are changing theirs.
They're allowing each city to make a decision, but eventually it's gonna be changed where all of our election cities held are doing, the primary elections and everything in accordance with the state or.
With the county?
Yeah,
With the state law?
the state laws.
Yes.
So
Mr. City
can I
Attorney-
have an account of all the ballots that were ordered?
If you give me all of your questions, I will answer. I didn't write them down, so.
Mr. City Attorney, in order for the city to be in compliance with the state law that mandates cities move their elections to the state's general cycle in 2018, because our charter specifies the specific months that the city is to hold its elections, will this require a charter change, or will we just pass a resolution in accordance with state law?
Madam Mayor, that question's in my office right now to resolve. We're looking at discussions on the state level to find some guidance for charter cities.
Okay.
And how to come into compliance.
Okay. Thank you.
And can you keep me updated on that, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
No.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes?
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Approval of warrants, warrant number 239166, May the 1st, Orkin Pest Control for pest control in the amount of $5,095.36, requested by General Services. Warrant number 239351, May the 2nd, State Water Resource Control Board for annual waste discharge fee in the amount of $2,062, requested by the Water Department. Total amount of warrants, $7,157.36.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I did have a question, and going back, taking a look at some of the dates on these invoices. I think the city manager may have addressed this, but I'm just wondering if this is going to be something that we will be able to address in the future as far as the lateness of these invoices, because in some of these invoices was dated back July 31st, 2016. I'm just wondering if we are trying to get everything in a position, get ourselves in a position where we can try to take care of this business in a more timely manner.
Mayor, Council, when I'm looking at this bill, it's the billing period from 7/1/16 to 6/30/17, and the invoice date was 12/1/16. So the bill didn't actually, it's the billing period. So we are, I've been in conversations with the city controller, and we're in the process, excruciatingly so sometimes, of making sure that our bills are getting paid on time. And we recognize that because we want to avoid late fees at any cost.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. City Manager, can you please advise staff that when they get the bills that they should not hold them? Could you send them out some directive so that they will not hold it? Because oftentimes it's a matter of them holding the bills and not processing them in a timely manner.
Absolutely, that direction has been given because it's come to our attention that a number of bills had been being held because the accounts were either depleted or staff wasn't able to process it in a timely manner. So we've directed the staff to make sure they process those bills properly and promptly.
Mr. City Manager, do we still have the lockbox?
No.
No? So we've taken back over the responsibility of paying all our bills ourselves?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask Ms. McKay if we can agendize, it's 2 weeks or whatever it is, to come up and give us an audit on the bill paying system and our bill paying status of how we're paying our bills and what bills are late and what bills are on time, and when we took over the responsibility of paying our bills again. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Your council comments.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zarita?
Thank you, Mayor. Just very brief. Actually, I just really want to say that what the clerk said for the folks this time to really look at your ballot, your sample ballots and the information that you get. So if there is a question about your polling place in this June 6th election, that you can try to get your questions answered prior to Election Day. I'd like to get an update on the status of the, Mr. Manager, the training of the employees with the street machine, if you could bring that back next week. And also, I'd like to say happy birthday to my best friend, Chanel. Her birthday, Cinco de Mayo. And also, I'd like to say happy Mother's Day to all the Latino mothers that celebrate May 10th. Happy Mother's Day to you. And a happy Mother's Day to my mother, Dolores, who I love dearly, who I admire and is a great woman in this community, and a mother, and a wife, and a grandmother. And to all my other mothers in the city of Compton, all of them. I'm not going to start to name all of them, Ms. Terrell, and all you lovely ladies, but I just want to wish all of you a very happy Mother's Day this Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to close in the memory of Reverend Henry Lee.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes. Okay. Mr. City Manager, I would like to request that you provide me with a weekly update on the water quality for the city, a weekly report on the water quality, because I've been getting complaints about the brown water. And also, I know that our yearly report, when will it be posted so that our citizens will be able to take a look at it?
I spoke with the water director today about that. I noticed online that the last report was 2015, but it's a year behind, so that report is due out any day. Ken, it's maybe next week or so, next 2 weeks? Okay, he's indicating yes, next 2 weeks, but it should be, it's almost ready, so they're a year behind. So when you see 2015, that was really,
Right.
You know, they're 1 year behind, so.
I agree with that. I understand that part. Okay, well, I would still like a weekly report on the water quality. I know that we do weekly testing, so I would like a report. Also, please, would you bring back a report on the status of the turn signal for Wilmington and Greenleaf? I want a report so that we can know the status, where we are with it, what we're going to do about it. And the residents of Sunny Cove have complained about the street sweeping and parking control not coming through to give the tickets. I was actually over there right in my district, and the street sweeper was coming through, but there's cars who don't move, and the parking control wasn't behind them, so they ended up going around, and the people didn't even get a ticket. That was in the way of the street sweeping. Also, I would request that parking control go over to Tucker Park. There is a trailer that has been sitting there full of trash. It's been there when we went to, we had a town hall meeting there. This is about 2 months ago. And I went over there yesterday, the actual trailer is still there full of trash. So I would like for someone to go over there and handle that. And it's also an abandoned car there. And I want to thank everybody that participated in the Cinco de Mayo that took place in the 3rd District. It was open to everyone, and everyone came, and it was a really nice event. We danced, we listened to music. I tried to perform with we had a group of kids who performed who were outstanding, and I tried to actually, they tried to teach me how to play their instrument. It was a beautiful event. Yeah, that was funny. Yes. And so, let's see, I want to invite everyone out to the 3rd District Sheriff's Town Hall meeting that's going to take place on Thursday, May 11th, from 6 to 7 at Burrell McDonald Park. The city manager will be there, and of course, our own Sheriff Deputy Owens. And then on Saturday, the Youth Airfair, Tomorrow's Aeronautical, is hosting the 7th Annual Aviation Expo and Job Fair. And it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a STEM event, the science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's free admission, so please, as far as the job fair, come dressed to impress from 11 to 2, and the event is from 10 to 4. So please, everyone, come out. It will be a wonderful event. And then the City of Compton Homeless Outreach is on May 17th from 9:30 to 1 p.m. The city will be hosting an outreach with the city's homeless community. The purpose of this outreach is to provide homeless individuals with information about the services that are available to them, such as mental health, health care, how to sign up, and qualifying for housing and social services. If you would like to participate in this outreach, please contact Dania Mitchell at the Local Housing Authority at 310-605-3083. Thank you, and let's see, I have one other announcement. Oh, I'll be co-sponsoring with Demeter Kadoon, the, World Oil, a cleanup of the creek on May the 20th. We will start at 8 a.m. We will gather at Compton Heights parking lot at 417 West Alondra, and we will disperse from there and go out and clean up all of that area back there, the walking trail, and anybody that wants to come out and volunteer. We have volunteers from World Oil as well as city employees, and I will be out there, so please join us. And then Sunny Cove's Block Club meeting is on May 20th at 10 a.m. at Tucker Park. Other than that, Madam Mayor, I'd like to adjourn in memory of Aaron Scranton.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Aaron.
R-A-N-T-O-N.
Thank you, Councilwoman McCoy. Councilwoman Sharif?
Thank you, Mayor Brown. First, let me say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers here in Compton, and I wish you guys a blessed Mother's Day on Sunday. And I had the opportunity to attend the SCAG conference this past couple days, Thursday and Friday, and it was really hot. But one of the things that the general session that I attended was talking about, the panel was discussing about cities looking forward. And it appears that there's quite a few cities now that is looking in terms, and they are saying that we should be looking at the city as a business. And they're talking about actually instead of us having just a general plan, we have a business plan put together as well. So, Mr. City Manager, I am asking that maybe the next year's budget that we will really take a look and making sure that we have a business plan to go along with the general plan of the city, so that we can start looking at the different, looking at trying to move the city in a different way. And I would really like to have a meeting set up with you and the people from SCAG, because I think they could be very instrumental in sharing information with us as far as what we can anticipate dealing with in the future here. So,
great.
And I did attend my councilwoman, Tana McCoy's Cinco de Mayo, but it was cold. It was really cold that day, so I saw Mr. Ray there, and I saw other people there, so it was really nice, but it was a really nice event. She had a great turnout, and she did an exceptional job as far as that event. I really want to thank you and your your assistant for actually making that possible for the community here, and they really enjoyed themselves, and I didn't stay long enough to learn how to do the dance, so because, like I said, it was really cold, but it was really nice. So on that note, I would like to say good night.
No salsa?
Oh, no, I didn't learn how to do the salsa. I didn't get a chance to do that. I'll do that next time.
Next time. I will be brief. Again, as was said earlier, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. We have a special partnership that we're doing. If there are any mothers, or if you'd like to nominate some mothers that could really use a special gift for Mother's Day, you can email my office at contactmayor@comptoncity.org. There's an organization for mothers that is going to be doing some work in the community on Saturday, and they'll be donating special packs to mothers here, and also they have some really great prizes, gifts. They even have concert tickets to a really popular band that mothers would like. So if you know of a mother that is in need of a really special thank you, please email our office at contactmayor@comptoncity.org. And the deadline is going to be on Thursday so that we can prepare for the drop-off of their gift packages on Saturday. Also, this past weekend I had an opportunity to participate for almost my 10th year with the Compton Initiative, and they have their quarterly cleanup. And they were able to really be a tremendous blessing to so many families here in the community. I want to especially acknowledge the Rose Street Block Club for stepping out, for coming out. They had their Block Club members who was actually headed by some amazing women, and Ms. Nadine Smith is their president. But they painted several homes within that area. And a big thank you to all the residents that came out, participated, and to even those residents that had special refreshments for the volunteers. It was really a beautiful day, community effort. The rain didn't stop the initiative, so a big thank you to everyone that came out this past Saturday. And then also, I'd like to just share that Grid Alternatives was doing some great work in the city of Compton. They provided free solar panels to a Compton resident who's also a veteran here within the community, and he's lived here for 60 years, and he has 3 generations of family members that are still in the city, and so he was able to receive free solar panels, and so now he will no longer have an electricity bill. They have 2 panels, and the technology has really advanced in the last few years, so now the panels are very compact. You really can't notice them from driving by. But now he will be able to generate enough electricity for his entire home and also be able to put some energy back into the grid. So he will no longer have an electricity bill. And so they're actually targeting seniors. And so I have a follow-up meeting with Grid to sit down and see how we can roll this program out to as many residents as possible. And a big thank you to IBEW Local 11 for the manpower that came out to install those solar panels. They donated their time. Grid Alternatives provided the equipment, and so now we have a couple of residents. He's actually one of several that have benefited from this program. And there's a couple of announcements for youth and scholarships. The Tuskegee Airmen Scholarship Foundation, in cooperation with the Los Angeles chapter of Tuskegee Airmen, is promoting their summer youth program sponsored by Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum. And you can go to tammuseum.org for additional information. They're going to be hosting a 1-week program from July 24th through the 28th to introduce students to the historical impact of the Tuskegee Airmen experience and the basics of how math and science are applied to aviation careers, as well as social studies and language arts. The program will provide a 5-day curriculum, including an aviation orientation, field trips, team presentations, and after-class assignments to enrich the learning experience. The program target age is from 12 to 18, and they're limited in terms of space, so please sign up as soon as possible. The application deadline is June 30th. So again, you can go to tammuseum.org. You also can email Edward, that's edward.grice at taisfrank.org, or you can email lee@tammuseum.org. We also have a Santa Monica Mountain NRA and YMCA environmental education internship, which will actually provide $300 per week in paid training. It's an excellent opportunity to gain environmental education skills, develop close relationships with Los Angeles communities, and connect individuals with their local parks. The application will be open on June 5th, and so you can go to sccorps.openhire.silkroad.com to apply, or you can always just email contactmayor@comptoncity.org, and we will reply back with the link to this opportunity. I'd like to request, Mr. City Manager, an update from the Christmas Parade Ad Hoc Committee and to see where they are with planning the 2017 Christmas Parade. There are several residents that I know would like to participate, so if we can get some regular meetings scheduled, and we can open that up to members of the business community and community that like to partner with the city on this. Also, I just want to remind everyone, the homeless outreach count is May 17th, 2017, from 9:30 to 1 p.m., and you can contact the local housing authority for additional information at 310-605-3083. And I want to know if this flyer will be posted on the city's website.
Yes.
Thank you, so we can continue to share this. This is something that many of the block clubs have been asking about, and they'd like to participate. And big congratulations again to Volunteers for America and their new head start in the city of Compton. They persevered and were able to move forward with opening some additional facilities to service Compton families. So looking forward to welcoming them and for their services to be made available to Compton residents. And lastly, I know that there were questions regarding the upcoming or the previous election and upcoming election, and I just want to reiterate what the clerk has said in terms of verifying your polling location, and then also to remind all of us that we do have early voting available in the city of Compton, so you always can go to the city clerk's office, recommend at least a week or two in advance of the election and vote early if you like. I know of a couple of people that voted early because they were going to be traveling with the last election, so just want to remind everyone to get out to vote and to also verify your polling location. And we will adjourn in the memory of,
Can I?
oh, I'm sorry,
one
yes.
request for the city? Mr. City Manager, would you please have code enforcement start going through with the permit parking in Richland Farms? I forgot, I received several complaints about the permit parking not being enforced, so please have code enforcement start going through on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then also the city attorney has comments as well. Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. It's real quick, of a urgent nature. My wife has just texted me that her birthday is Saturday. And one, she wants me to know she's watching. That's the first message. But two, Marguerite, happy birthday for Saturday. Also, she is a phenomenal mother, and I'm reading.
You're reading the notes?
Reading the text.
She is phenomenal, as well as my mom, while I'm at it.
Yes.
Maple Jackson, Cornwell. Happy Mother's Day.
Madam Mayor, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thursday is the city's birthday, but it is also, that's the city's birthday, and it's also my daughter's birthday on Thursday, May 11th. So happy birthdays to me, and happy birthday, City of Compton.
Oh, thank you for the reminder. Happy birthday, happy Mother's Day. And I hope that if the Compton 125 is watching, I would love for the Compton 125 to put together a birthday celebration every year for our city's birthday. I know that they did a big deal for the 125th year, but we're still here. So, you know, every year to acknowledge or help us to remind the city to celebrate, that would be much appreciated. So to the 125, a special request to help us celebrate our city's birthday. You did? It was? Okay, well now I'm recruiting the city clerk because she said that her 120th was just awesome. So, Madam City Clerk, I'm asking if you can join the birthday committee. Thank you.
Just give me a budget and I'll do it.
All right. All right, so we're adding that to our list of items. And then also, I had a quick update that all veterans are invited to LA Trade Tech on May 13th at 12 p.m. There is a celebration for all the veterans that served. So if you just know of anyone that would like to be celebrated or is in need of some services, you can come down, and they have all types of things going on all day, and they have a very special ceremony at actually 6 p.m., but you can go down there throughout the day. And we will adjourn and we will adjourn in the memory of Reverend Henry Lee and Aaron Scranton. May we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Sharif?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. Thank you all, and good night, and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
All
Day.
the mamas.